Good morning. In this session, we will discuss about the LLG fault or the double line to ground fault on an unloaded generator. Let us consider the same three-phase symmetrically wound alternator. Now here, we are considering the fault with respect to the phase B and phase C. If you mark the phase currents, it is IA, IB and IC currents. Now IB and IC currents have a path to flow. So the fault current IF is equal to IB plus IC current. Now, what are the terminal conditions? If you see the terminal conditions here, VB is equal to 0 because it is grounded. The ground voltage will be 0. Both are short circuited. These two will be parallel. These parallel circuits are dead shorted. So that is why both voltages will be equal to 0. So therefore VB is equal to 0 as well as VC equal to 0. And coming to this phase A current, this IA current also will be equal to 0. By using these conditions, now we are going to find out the symmetrical components of the voltages because we know two conditions for the voltage. Now symmetrical component relations, VA naught is equal to 1 by 3 times of VA plus VB plus VC, and we know VB and VC are equal to 0. So this will be equal to 1 by 3 VA, and similarly 1 by 3 times of VA plus AVB plus A square VC. Here also the terms VB and VC will be equal to 0. This will be 1 by 3 VA. If you find for VA2 equation also, whatever the terms related to the phase B and phase C will be equal to 0. Finally you will get 1 by 3 VA. So from these three relations, we know the voltage VA naught is equal to VA1, that is equal to VA2. So we have got one relation with respect to the sequence voltages, or the voltages are equal. So by this time you would have idea how to connect the sequence network. So we know that in the parallel circuit, we will have all the voltages are equal to each other. Now let us see the current also. So we know the current terminal condition IA is equal to 0. We know in terms of symmetrical components, IA naught plus IA1 plus IA2 is equal to 0. So done. This is the second condition. Algebraic sum of the currents will be equal to 0. So this is the KCL condition. So where you will apply the KCL condition? In the parallel circuits. So the series circuit, you will be using the KVL for the analysis. In the parallel circuit, we will go for the KCL rule, that is the node analysis. So now we need to represent the sequence networks in the parallel connection fashion. Interconnection of the sequence network. So now let us consider these are the positive sequence network, negative sequence network and the zero sequence network individually. Now we are going to connect this by using the above relations. So the above relations are satisfying with respect to the parallel condition. So we can directly connect all these networks in parallel. Now the circuit is done. The next we need to find out the sequence quantities. So what are the sequence quantities? We need to find out what is the VA1, VA2 and the VA naught values. We know the VA1 is equal to VA2 is equal to VA naught because it is a parallel connection. And we know the equation for VA1 is equal to EA minus IA1 into Z1. So now we got the voltages. Now what about the IA1 current? The current IA1 is the total current of the circuit. If you consider the current IA1 as a source current, that will be equal to the total voltage by total impedance. The total voltage is equal to EA. What is the total impedance? If you observe here, these two branches are connected in parallel. So that is Z2 which is parallel to Z0, and this parallel combination is in series with the Z1. So that is plus Z1. This is the total impedance. If you simplify, you will get Z1 plus Z2 into Z0 divided by Z2 plus Z0. So this can be represented here, that is Z1 plus Z2 Z0 divided by Z2 plus Z0 will give the positive sequence current. Then what about the negative sequence current and the zero sequence? Simply apply the current division rule. What is the current division rule? If you want to find out the current in any branch, that will be equal to the total current into opposite branch impedance by sum of the total impedances of the parallel branches. So now if you see the current here, what will be the current value? Plus value we have to consider, or minus means for this IA2 current, this current is traveling in the opposite direction. So that is why this will be represented as minus IA1 into opposite branch impedance Z0 divided by sum of these two impedances, that is Z0 plus Z2. So we got IA2. Similarly, the current IA0 is equal to minus IA1 into, we are finding the current in this branch. So the opposite branch resistance is Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. So now we got all the quantities IA1, IA2, IA0, then the voltages VA1, VA2 and VA0. Now what about the fault current? So fault current is equal to IB plus IC. You can write IB as IA0 plus A square IA1 plus A IA2 and IA0 plus A IA1 plus A square IA2. So if you simplify this, IA0 plus IA0, that will be equal to 2 IA0, and plus IA1 if you take common, that will be equal to A square plus A, plus IA2 if you take common, A plus A square. We know A square plus A or A plus A square will be equal to minus 1, because 1 plus A square will be equal to 0. So this can be written as IA0 minus 1 if you take common, that will be IA1 plus IA2. We know one of the terminal condition is IA is equal to 0. If you represent IA in terms of sequence components, IA0 plus IA1 plus IA2 is equal to 0. So from this you can write IA0 is equal to minus of IA1 plus IA2. So if you substitute in place of minus IA1 plus IA2 this IA0, we will be getting 2 IA0. This complete minus IA1 plus IA2 will be equal to plus IA0. That is equal to 3 times of IA0. Now we know just now we have derived what is the equation for IA0. 3 times of minus IA1 into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So therefore, the fault current is equal to minus 3 IA1. If you consider only the magnitude, this is 3 times of IA1 into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. If they give the IA1 value, directly you can do the substitution. Suppose if they have not given the IA1, then you can determine the IA1 by using the formula EA divided by Z1 plus Z2 into Z0 divided by Z1 plus Z2. All these formulas we need to remember. Sorry, this is Z0 plus Z2. If the neutral is ungrounded, what will happen? So the fault current IF is equal to 3IA IA1 into Z2 by Z2 plus Z0. If neutral is absent, means Z0 will be equal to infinity. So if it is infinity, the fault current will be 0. So if neutral is absent, means the fault current also will be absent in the system. There won't be any fault current in the system. Thank you.